2025 Backyard Landscaping Ideas, Rustic Garden Decor for Stunning Outdoor Spaces. Ladies and gentlemen, design enthusiasts and dreamers of beautiful living spaces, welcome. Imagine stepping outside your home, feeling the crisp morning air, and gazing upon a backyard that is not just a piece of land, but a living canvas of design, functionality, and personal expression. This is the essence of backyard landscaping in 2025. Not simply planting a few shrubs or laying down grass, but creating immersive outdoor environments that echo both timeless traditions and forward-looking trends. In recent years, the boundaries between indoor and outdoor living have blurred. Homes are no longer defined by their walls. Instead, they extend into the garden, into patios, and into curated landscapes. Today's homeowners seek backyards that combine style, sustainability, and comfort. The rustic aesthetic, with its natural textures and organic forms, has become a defining theme. It creates spaces that feel welcoming, authentic, and undeniably charming, while also adapting to the latest global design movements. Why rustic? Because in a world saturated with technology, sleek lines, and fast-paced change, rustic backyard landscaping offers grounding. It draws us back to nature, to raw materials, to spaces where imperfections add character. Stone pathways, wooden pergolas, aged metal accents, and weathered pottery speak to a narrative of endurance. These elements whisper stories of tradition, craft, and timelessness. In 2025, rustic does not mean outdated. It means irresistible, an aesthetic that balances heritage with contemporary sensibilities. But rustic is not the only theme shaping outdoor living this year and into the future. Layered alongside it are influences from sustainable design, smart home integration, and global landscaping movements. Trends that once belonged exclusively to modern interiors, such as biophilic design, modular architecture, and minimalist zoning, are spilling into backyard landscapes. The result is an exciting blend of old and new, where rustic garden decor coexists with solar-powered lighting, automated irrigation, and eco-conscious planting. These trends form the foundation for backyard transformations in 2025. On one hand, there is the undeniable shift toward eco-friendly practices. Homeowners are planting native species, creating pollinator-friendly zones, and experimenting with xeriscaping to conserve water. On the other hand, design sensibilities are moving toward personalization and storytelling. A backyard is no longer a generic green patch. It is a stage for experiences. Outdoor dining with friends, meditative moments by a fire pit, or playful afternoons in family gardens. Rustic accents add emotional depth to these experiences, transforming functional areas into soulful retreats. Picture a stone fire circle surrounded by Adirondack chairs crafted from reclaimed timber. As the fire crackles, the air carries hints of cedar and oak. The surrounding beds bloom with lavender, wild grasses, and seasonal perennials, inviting bees and butterflies to dance in the twilight. Above, string lights stretch across poles, creating a canopy of warm glow. This is more than landscaping. It is atmosphere, memory, and meaning. And it is exactly the kind of experience homeowners are investing in. Architectural approaches reinforce this vision. There is a growing emphasis on creating transitions between indoor and outdoor spaces that feel seamless. Large glass doors open into patios where rustic stone flooring continues, visually linking living rooms to gardens. Pergolas become outdoor dining halls, complete with rustic wooden tables and iron lanterns. Pools are edged with natural stone and surrounded by landscaping that feels organic, as though the pool was discovered rather than constructed. These aesthetic choices are complemented by advancements in technology. In 2025, outdoor lighting can be managed from a smartphone, adjusting color temperatures to match moods. Irrigation systems sense weather patterns and distribute water accordingly. Outdoor kitchens are not just built for grilling, but designed as extensions of indoor culinary spaces, complete with pizza ovens, rustic clay pots, and smart appliances hidden behind weathered wood cabinetry. Technology discreetly supports the rustic aesthetic, never overpowering it. Cultural influences also shape backyard landscaping. Scandinavian principles, emphasizing simplicity, light, and nature, merge with rustic elements to create minimal yet warm outdoor spaces. Mediterranean styles bring in terracotta, olive trees, and stucco textures that harmonize beautifully with rustic wooden beams and wrought iron detailing. Japanese garden traditions, with their emphasis on tranquility and natural flow, add another layer of refinement. All of these approaches resonate with global homeowners seeking cultural depth in their personal outdoor sanctuaries. A significant part of rustic landscaping is the use of natural materials. Stone, in particular, has reclaimed its throne in 2025 as a centerpiece of garden design. Whether used for retaining walls, garden borders, or decorative accents, stone provides both structural reliability and visual charm. Reclaimed wood is equally prized, not only for its sustainable value, but for the patina that tells a story of its previous life. Iron, copper, and bronze, when allowed to weather, become rustic ornaments that evolve with time, giving backyards character that only deepens through seasons. Rustic garden decor is not about excess. It thrives in restraint, in intentional placement, in the beauty of contrasts. A single rustic bench beneath a sprawling oak can hold more power than dozens of modern lounge chairs. An old wagon wheel, carefully integrated into a flower bed, becomes a conversation piece. A clay water fountain, softly trickling, offers serenity unmatched by elaborate designs. In rustic landscaping, simplicity becomes sophistication. Lifestyle shifts, climate considerations, and generational preferences all shape these trends. Millennials and Gen Z homeowners in particular value experiences and authenticity. They are investing in gardens not only for beauty but for wellness. Gardens that reduce stress, encourage outdoor living, and connect them to food sources through edible landscaping. Raised garden beds made from reclaimed wood, rustic potting stations, and vertical herb gardens are all reflections of this. As housing footprints shrink in urban and suburban areas, backyards become precious extensions of living space. Rustic design allows even small spaces to feel rich with atmosphere. A compact courtyard with a rustic pergola and climbing vines can feel just as inviting as a sprawling estate garden. The adaptability of rustic design ensures it fits every scale, every budget, and every climate zone. The rustic aesthetic will not fade, it will evolve. The rustic garden of 2025 is not just nostalgic but innovative, not just decorative but functional, not just local but global in inspiration. It serves as a bridge between the past we admire and the future we anticipate. When we begin to visualize the backyard of 2025 in more detail, what immediately stands out is how each design choice is deliberate. No element feels random or disconnected. Instead, every material, texture, and accessory is chosen to enhance both aesthetics and function. The rustic theme becomes the backbone of these decisions, acting as a guiding philosophy rather than a rigid style. This is where practical ideas come into play: pathways, pergolas, seating areas, and decor accents that transform ordinary gardens into extraordinary sanctuaries. Pathways, for instance, are no longer just functional routes through a garden. They are design statements. In rustic landscaping, pathways are often made of flagstone, cobblestone, or reclaimed brick. Their irregular shapes and natural tones provide visual rhythm, encouraging exploration. A winding path bordered with wildflowers or native grasses feels timeless and encourages slow walking, as if each step invites discovery. Some homeowners are blending gravel with stepping stones, creating cost-effective yet elegant solutions that resonate with the rustic ideal of simplicity and authenticity. Pergolas and arbors stand as iconic features of rustic backyards. These structures are more than shade providers. They are architectural anchors that set the mood for outdoor living. Built with reclaimed wood, their beams carry the texture of time, and when paired with climbing vines, wisteria, ivy, or roses, they blur the line between built environment and nature. In 2025, pergolas often serve as open-air dining rooms. Long wooden tables, mismatched rustic chairs, and lantern-style lighting transform them into hubs of community and family gatherings. It is not difficult to imagine laughter and conversation resonating under their beams as the sun sets. Seating areas are another focal point. Rustic landscaping values intimacy, and so designers are moving away from overly large, impersonal patios. Instead, they create multiple small seating zones throughout the garden, each with its own atmosphere. A wooden bench tucked into a corner beneath a tree invites solitude. Adirondack chairs arranged around a fire pit encourage storytelling. Hammocks strung between posts or trees add a touch of relaxation, perfectly aligned with the rustic emphasis on comfort and retreat. Water features remain timeless in outdoor design, but in 2025, they are leaning toward rustic forms. Think stone fountains with patina, ceramic jars converted into water spouts, or small ponds edged with boulders and aquatic plants. These features provide movement and sound, creating a soothing counterbalance to the stillness of stone and wood. Rustic water features never try to dominate. Instead, they melt into the environment, looking as though they have always belonged there. One of the defining qualities of rustic design is texture, and in the backyard, texture becomes a language of expression. Rough-hewn wood contrasts with smooth river stones. Soft grasses sway against the hard edges of iron lanterns. Clay pots filled with herbs line rough brick walls. This play of textures is what makes rustic spaces feel alive and tactile. People are drawn to touch surfaces, to run their hands along a weathered beam, to feel the grain of reclaimed wood. It is this sensory engagement that elevates a backyard from visual beauty to lived experience. Color palettes also play a crucial role. Rustic landscaping leans on earthy hues, warm browns, soft grays, muted greens, and natural stone shades. Accents of terracotta, deep rust, and charcoal add richness without overwhelming the senses. Unlike modern gardens that might rely heavily on bold, dramatic colors, rustic palettes soothe and ground. They harmonize with the landscape rather than competing with it, ensuring that the backyard feels like an organic extension of the natural world. Lighting, though powered by advanced technologies, embraces rustic charm in its appearance. Lanterns with wrought iron frames, Edison-style bulbs strung across pergolas, and solar-powered stake lights disguised as stone or wood all create a warm and welcoming glow. The emphasis is on ambiance rather than brightness. In 2025, outdoor lighting is as much about storytelling as it is about illumination. A garden bathed in gentle, golden tones invites people to linger longer, to savor the atmosphere rather than rushing indoors. Fire elements are another signature trend. Rustic landscaping integrates fire pits, fireplaces, and even wood-fired ovens as focal points. The crackle of fire is timeless, linking us to both tradition and comfort. In many backyards, fire pits are surrounded by natural stone seating walls or circular arrangements of reclaimed chairs. Some homeowners are adding rustic outdoor fireplaces built from stone, transforming patios into year-round gathering spots. The warmth and light of fire make the garden not only usable, but irresistible, especially during cooler evenings. Planting choices add further layers of personality. Rustic design embraces plants that feel natural, slightly unkempt, and full of character. Ornamental grasses, lavender, hydrangeas, sunflowers, and climbing roses thrive in rustic settings. Wildflowers and native species enhance sustainability while also attracting pollinators. Raised garden beds crafted from reclaimed wood bring in the charm of homesteading, blending functionality with aesthetics. Herbs like rosemary, thyme, and sage grow alongside vegetables, connecting the backyard to both flavor and fragrance. Decor accents are where rustic gardens truly shine. Old wooden ladders become trellises for climbing plants. Wine barrels are repurposed as planters. Iron garden sculptures weather beautifully in the open air. Birdhouses, feeders, and rustic lanterns add both charm and life, welcoming not only people but wildlife into the garden. The rustic philosophy celebrates imperfection. Chips in pottery, cracks in wood, and rust on metal are not flaws but marks of authenticity. In addition to the physical design, zoning plays an important role. In 2025, rustic backyards often include different zones tailored for specific purposes. A dining area under a pergola, a relaxation zone with hammocks, a fire zone with seating around it, and a play or activity zone for families. Each zone feels distinct yet connected by materials and style, creating a sense of unity across the space. This zoning mirrors interior design trends, where open concept layouts are balanced by intentional areas of function. Another growing trend is the blending of rustic with wellness. Outdoor yoga platforms made from reclaimed wood, meditation corners surrounded by bamboo, and small rustic saunas are appearing in modern backyards. These wellness zones align with a global movement toward holistic living, where backyards are no longer just visually appealing but restorative to the body and mind. Rustic backyards also embrace seasonality. They are designed to transform with the year, showcasing different faces in spring, summer, autumn, and winter. In spring, wildflowers bloom along stone borders. In summer, pergolas provide shade for outdoor meals. In autumn, fire pits become central to gatherings as leaves scatter across pathways. In winter, rustic lanterns and evergreen plantings create cozy, magical landscapes. Designing for all 4 seasons ensures that the backyard is not a summer-only destination, but a year-round haven. The rustic design language continues to evolve as it adapts to personal tastes. For some, it leans toward farmhouse charm with whitewashed wood and vintage decor. For others, it draws from rugged mountain cabins, emphasizing darker woods and heavier stone. There are also those who merge rustic with modern minimalism, creating streamlined spaces softened by natural materials. This adaptability is what keeps rustic relevant and irresistible. As rustic aesthetics continue to gain momentum in 2025, they are not isolated from broader trends. Instead, they integrate with smart technology, sustainability goals, and cultural diversity. A backyard might feature rustic pergolas alongside smart irrigation. Clay pots might sit next to modular furniture designed for easy storage. Fire pits might coexist with solar panels that power the entire garden. The rustic theme remains central, but it thrives by embracing innovation rather than resisting it. These detailed choices, pathways, pergolas, seating, water, fire, plants, and accents, form the vocabulary of rustic landscaping in 2025. They ensure that every backyard feels purposeful, personal, and inviting. They speak to our desire for spaces that are not only beautiful, but meaningful. Spaces that provide comfort while reflecting the trends of the present and the aspirations of the future. As we look toward the future of backyard landscaping, one thing becomes clear. Rustic design is not a passing trend, but a framework for enduring beauty. It adapts gracefully to modern needs while staying true to its roots. In 2025 and beyond, rustic backyards are evolving into multifunctional environments that seamlessly weave together lifestyle, culture, sustainability, and innovation. They are no longer simply gardens, but holistic living ecosystems that nurture people and the planet. One of the most exciting directions for the future is the integration of sustainability as a core design principle. Homeowners are increasingly aware that their choices impact the environment, and rustic design lends itself beautifully to eco-conscious living. Reclaimed wood, repurposed metal, and recycled stone are not only cost-effective but reduce the demand for new materials. Rainwater harvesting systems are discreetly built into rustic barrels, serving both as decorative elements and functional tools. Solar-powered lighting fixtures, disguised as lanterns or rustic posts, eliminate the need for wiring while reducing energy use. Composting stations, crafted from reclaimed planks, blend seamlessly into the aesthetic while contributing to healthy soil for gardens. Food production is another critical trend. Edible landscapes are becoming a staple in rustic backyards, with raised beds, orchard corners, and herb spirals integrated into the design. Homeowners find joy and empowerment in harvesting fresh tomatoes, herbs, or apples from their own spaces. Rustic decor enhances this lifestyle. Baskets hung from pergolas for harvesting, clay pots filled with fragrant herbs near outdoor kitchens, and wooden shelving for drying flowers or spices. This merging of aesthetics and practicality makes backyards both beautiful and nourishing. Wellness, as a growing cultural priority, is deeply embedded into future backyard design. Rustic backyards are evolving into wellness retreats that encourage relaxation, mindfulness, and outdoor living. Imagine a wooden deck dedicated to morning yoga, shaded by a pergola wrapped in jasmine vines. Picture a rustic sauna tucked into a corner of the yard, built from cedar wood that fills the air with its calming scent. Water features designed for sound therapy, Gentle streams, cascading stone fountains, or small koi ponds become central to meditation corners. Rustic design makes these wellness spaces feel grounded and authentic, avoiding the coldness that hyper-modern designs sometimes bring. Technology, though discreet, will play an even larger role in shaping rustic backyards of the future. Smart irrigation systems connected to weather apps ensure plants receive just the right amount of water. Lighting systems shift automatically through the day, enhancing natural rhythms. Outdoor audio systems, hidden inside rustic lanterns or wooden posts, create immersive atmospheres for gatherings or quiet evenings. Smart furniture, tables with built-in charging ports or benches with hidden storage, integrates convenience without disrupting the rustic look. The key lies in balance. Technology supports the experience without overshadowing the organic beauty of stone, wood, and greenery. Community-oriented design is another defining trend. Rustic backyards are becoming social hubs, not only for families, but for neighbors and friends. Outdoor kitchens evolve into culinary theaters, where hosts cook with rustic wood-fired ovens while guests gather around long wooden tables. Fire circles transform into spaces for storytelling, music, or cultural rituals. Vertical gardens double as living walls that provide privacy while also acting as conversation pieces. In urban neighborhoods where green space is limited, shared rustic courtyards bring people together, fostering a sense of connection and belonging. Cultural diversity continues to enrich rustic landscaping. Global influences inspire creativity, allowing homeowners to infuse their heritage into backyard design. A rustic Mediterranean courtyard might include olive trees, stone mosaics, and clay urns. An Asian-inspired rustic retreat could feature bamboo, koi ponds, and Zen rock gardens softened by weathered wood. A Scandinavian rustic fusion might highlight pale wood, cozy fire zones, and minimalist decor softened by natural textures. These diverse influences ensure that rustic backyards are deeply personal, reflecting identity and culture as much as design trends. Another emerging vision is the transformation of rustic backyards into educational spaces. Families are using their gardens to teach children about sustainability, gardening, and biodiversity. Raised beds with labeled herbs and vegetables become living classrooms. Rustic insect hotels, built from logs and bamboo, attract pollinators while sparking curiosity. Birdhouses, feeders, and nesting boxes create opportunities to observe wildlife up close. The rustic setting turns these lessons into joyful experiences, ensuring that learning feels natural and inspiring. Seasonal adaptability will also define future rustic landscapes. Designers are moving toward backyards that offer year-round usability. In summer, pergolas provide cool retreats draped with greenery. In autumn, fire pits and rustic lanterns extend outdoor living into chilly evenings. In winter, evergreen shrubs, pine cones, and rustic wooden benches create cozy, picturesque views, even when snow blankets the garden. Rustic design thrives on this adaptability, using natural materials that age gracefully across seasons, always offering beauty no matter the time of year. Looking forward, the rustic aesthetic is also being reinterpreted for smaller spaces and urban living. Balconies and terraces are being transformed into mini rustic retreats, with vertical gardens, compact fire bowls, and foldable rustic furniture. Even rooftops are becoming rustic havens, with raised beds, pergolas, and water features that bring nature into dense cityscapes. This adaptability ensures that rustic design is accessible not only to suburban or rural homeowners, but also to those living in apartments or townhouses. At its heart, rustic backyard design is about connection. Connection to nature, to community, to personal identity, and to timeless traditions. It resists the artificial, embraces authenticity, and honors imperfection. In the future, as lifestyles become increasingly digital and fast-paced, these backyards will serve as sanctuaries where people can slow down, breathe deeply, and reconnect with what truly matters. They will be spaces that host laughter, nurture wellness, and tell stories through every stone, beam, and flower. The backyard of tomorrow is more than a backdrop. It is a living theater of life. Rustic aesthetics ensure that this theater feels warm, enduring, and soulful. By combining traditional materials with modern innovations, sustainability with beauty, and global influences with personal touches, rustic landscaping creates spaces that transcend trends. They are timeless because they celebrate both the earth beneath our feet and the lives we build upon it. As we envision these backyards, we see not just design, but legacy. The rustic gardens of 2025 and beyond are places where memories will be made, where generations will gather, and where nature and humanity meet in harmony. They remind us that the most irresistible designs are not the most perfect, but the most authentic, carrying within them the stories of the past and the promise of the future.